Time to fight fear with faith. Jody Paar is a survivor who is no longer staying silent. She and her guest will fuel you up so you too can fight fear. Uplifting and inspirational stories that will rock you to your core. We don't tiptoe around the truth. We steamroll it in a bold way. This is your life, and now is the time to start living it. Get ready for the Faith Over Fear podcast with Jody Paar. Now, welcome Jody Paar to inspire you.
Welcome back to Faith Over Fear. I am Jody Paar. I'm so excited that you guys are listening and watching today. I have a very special guest. I am going to do my best to pronounce his name correctly. I actually connected with him on a World Shakers platform training that we were doing together, and I just love his spirit. He is so uplifting and such an amazing guy. So Mike Vizcarra, is that correct?
Yes, that is correct. Mike Vizcarra here, you got it right. Love it, love it. And we also have Eli Delgado. He's going to be sitting in with us.
Yay! Hi, Eli. Welcome. Yes. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited that y'all are here. I'd love to hear different stories of faith over fear. I like to hear, because I think everybody needs to know there's such a variety of what people go through in different times of fear, and then where they go through different times of faith. So either one of you, whichever one wants to start, tell me, when is the first time you really felt fear?
Awesome. Eli, how about you go? When was the first time you felt fear?
Okay, so the first time I felt fear was most likely in my teenage years.
Yes.
I don't know if it's something that's relevant to me in my adult age, but when I was a teenager, I felt like I was obligated to be participating with what everybody else is doing. So my fear was to be against whatever everybody else was doing. I was fearing the fact that everybody had a trend, like everybody needed to ditch school, everybody needed to hang out, everybody needed to go do drugs, right? Like, we all remember those teenage years, everybody does whatever they want. But I was kind of against that. So I was fearing the fact of getting neglect and negative comments from friends, people that I was trying to get into their inner circle. And I was afraid of that because I thought I wouldn't have any friends. I thought I wouldn't be able to get along with anybody, speak the same language. And my fear did overcome as I got a little older. Sadly, during my teenage years, I still felt somewhat suppressed from friendships. But I feel that was when I first experienced fear, because the fact is I wasn't sure of myself. I wasn't confident enough to know that maybe I was able to have any good friends. I mean, the friends I had were the ones that were behind the, closed doors. I mean, I'm not sure if you were like that, Jody, but we were closed door. Well, I was closed doors friends. I think Michael was a totally different thing with that. But me, I was very self-conscious. I was worried about what people had to say, and I was fearing the fact of what people would say behind my back. And even to this day, I still have that fear. I'll be honest with you. I feel that some part of me still feels that I need to be to a point where nobody really says anything bad. I hate the word haters, just because I feel like I'm worried about the fact somebody would hate me, or what am I doing wrong to affect you in a negative way? Just because ever since I was a teen, that fear still is prolonged in my life spirit, in my mental state of thinking that if I do something wrong, something's gonna come back. I'm not sure if I elaborated too much, but that's
that's good. That's really good, because as teenagers, one thing that, I'm not telling my age, but let's just say years later, one thing that I learned is that, kids are going to be kids, and they're going to be hard on you, and they're going to make you feel uncomfortable. And it is okay to stand out. It is okay to be different. It is okay to be yourself. And that is one thing that I definitely want people, and especially teenagers, to know is, just like you said, you had a fear of fitting in. I did too. I think everybody does. I think everybody has that fear of, am I good enough? Do I fit in this crowd? And then you get older, and, you're kind of like, I really don't care if I sit at your table. I'll sit and eat alone, and you get to that point in life.
I love that.
Exactly. So, okay, I'm going to try not to get you two mixed up. So Mike, when was the first time that you felt fear in your life?
Yeah, definitely. So I would say I'm going back to when I felt fear. It would probably be when I was around 12 or 13 years old. Uh, it was because I actually was working when I was 12. We had a family restaurant, and I found myself making like $400 a week as like a 12-year-old. You know what I mean?
Ooh, you're balling.
Yeah, I
You're
know.
balling.
Yeah. So I was like, over here, like, buying my own clothes, buying the cool glasses and all that good stuff. So yes, it was nice for a minute, but there was points where I felt fear, like, hey, is this kind of like the right thing, like, that I'm doing? Like, do I need to be like parented? Do I need to be disciplined? And it was kind of scary, not knowing, like, I wasn't getting that, knowing that I kind of was an adult already when I was 12, because I can kind of do what I want to do when you have your own paycheck, and as long as you're doing school right and whatnot. So there was just kind of a point where it hit me, and I was just like, man, this is kind of scary, like trying to live this adult life when I'm only 12 or 13 years old. But even though that was a fear, I think I over the years overcame that by knowing, well, hey, even though I'm young, I can be this independent person. I don't have to kind of realize that I have to depend on people, even though when you're that young, of course, you need to depend on people. But it kind of set me up to be this person that is independent. Even though it was pretty scary, it did set me up to be independent. And I feel the life that I live now, I'm still striving to be that amazing person, that truly independent person that, is financially set free and whatnot. But that kind of took a little bit of fear in my life. And it goes all the way back when I was like 12 or 13, because I kind of had to just say, hey, this is my life. Am I gonna, be scared, or am I just gonna continue to do what I do? And I kind of just continued with it, went through the hard times, being 12, 13, 14, just always having a job, always working, being so young, kind of, letting people borrow money, like parents and brothers and sisters, just being so young. It was just scary, just not being able to relax sometimes or whatnot. But like I said, I think it made me into a better person that I, today. If I didn't have that, I don't know who I would be today. But that fear, it kind of trained me to be Mike today, So it was scary, but that was probably like the first time where I really felt fear.
Yeah, and that's so good too, because a lot of people don't realize that children work just as hard as adults a lot of times. My husband actually started working at 6 months old. He was a child actor with his brother. God. That's an identical twin. So wow. People say, what was your first job? And he's like, well, I was 6 months old. So, he could definitely, but to be that young and to not be able to, let's see if I can word this correctly, be a kid and not have to worry about adult responsibilities, but then to have this money to where you're kind of like, I don't even know what to do with it. Like, I'm just going to go buy whatever, I can get my hands on, because at that age. But in the positive side of things, it did instill a work ethic in you at such a young age.
Yes,
that's why probably you're where you are today is because of that. I always say you can look back at your life and be like, yeah, these negative things happened to me, but how did that make me positive in my future? Like, how did that, and that's where we always go into like the faith side. So Eli, tell me one more time of fear in your life. It doesn't matter what age, just another time you felt fear.
There was another time I had fear was when I opened my first business. So I was already an adult at the time. So I was probably I would say my mid-20s. So I had opened a finance business in the city of Ontario. And I was really just not knowing what I was doing. I just like, hey, I got a business loan. Let's just do something about it and try to make some money, right? So I was fearing the fact that I would go bankrupt immediately. So I was just in fear. I'm like, all right, how am I going to spend my money? I don't have an accountant. I don't know what to do with this. Kind of similar to what he said about when you get money, you don't know what to do with it initially until you fall on your face, right? It's kind of to me, I feel like our experiences when we fall on our face is kind of how we learn. And then we keep getting up and fighting some more. So that happened a lot. I opened my business, hired some people. Some people were not the best fit for the business, but you know what? I kept pushing along. But I kept fearing almost every single day that the business would fail because I didn't have a plan. I didn't have a plan of action of who to hire, how to hire. I didn't have an accountant helping me set up my financials. I didn't really have a route that I was going towards. I just wanted to survive. I was in survival mode because it was during the mortgage crash, during the mortgage industry crash back in 2008. So I felt a little bit lost and I wasn't too sure of myself. So I just said, I just got to do whatever I can. But I feel like the fear in that case drove me to do whatever it took. You know, it excelled me and made me grow up. I almost feel like in my 20s, I was like this 55-year-old man in a 25-year-old body saying, you just got to work because you got baby kids. I mean, my daughter's, our daughter is almost 17. And I mean, I guess this was a long
You
time
look
ago.
17. There's no way you have a daughter that's 17. Oh my goodness. That's some good genes. Let me tell you.
Thank you. It's the hair, you know.
Yeah.
But you know what? It was definitely an experience. And I think the fear of losing my family, making that connection with my kids, I was fearing that if I failed, I would fail them. And I was very fearful of that. This was before Mike too. It was just a different time in my life. And I got through it. I overcame it. And I did lose the business, I admit, but I learned how to become a better person, how to run the business better. Like in today's time, it's a much different field now, but I was very fearful at that point.
Yeah, and that's so good. You know, we might fail, and I have failed so many times. I think I lost count, literally. I think I just lost count. But whenever the success comes, it's such a sweeter thing because you did go through those failures, because you did go through those heartaches, because you did, you know, and the good thing is you just kept pushing. And that's same thing me. I keep pushing, you know, even though you might get roadblocks in life, you just keep pushing through those. So thank you for sharing that, because we could have some listeners listening right now. They just started a new business and they're scared, and you have some great advice to just keep going, keep pushing, fight your mindset. When your mindset takes you to that negative place, fight your mindset, and knowing that when you guys find out where they're at now, I mean, it's just amazing. I love that. Yes. And again, it's just fear is always false evidence appearing real. So it's what makes you think that it's there, but it's not there. And then I can't tell you how many times I feared something and then there was nothing that came out of it. It was absolutely the opposite. And things, you know, ended up going a lot better than I thought that they were going to go. So tell us guys where you're at now and what's going on in your life. I just want you to, even if you want to go back from that place of losing your business to the place that you're at now, I just want our listeners to know that we might go through trials, but the triumph on the other side is so amazing. So tell us kind of what happened there and where, and I'm going to give you both a chance to, so whoever wants to go first, go ahead. But I want to let you guys speak about that, because I watch you on Instagram and watch your success, and it's so inspiring. So I want to hear all about it.
All right. Thank you. Well, I have two things, right? So there's two things that stick out in my mind that help me and allow us to drive and thrive in today's market. Being in the real estate market, with all the past experiences we've had, two things that go in my mind is conservation and utilization. Is back when you're learning and earning a lot of money, or you're starting to earn money, you don't know how to conserve and you don't know how to utilize. You just spend it. You don't know where it's going to go. You think marketing this, marketing that. So we fell on our face and realized, hey, we need to learn how to save, which is basically a form of conservation, right? You conserve X amount of dollars for this and that. And then the second part is, how do we utilize it? So what's different about us now is back then we weren't utilizing the money, right? We probably would say, hey, we got $10,000 in our account. Let's go to Vegas. Vámonos. You know, so it didn't work out, right? Because the money's gone, thinking that it would rotate back to us by doing another transaction as we progress. And we were always closing a transaction in our mind before it was actually closed. You know, that thought of you get your paycheck, but before you even get it, you spent the money in your mind already. It's already gone. So we were that same way, but we're like that now. In essence, we're learning, we save, we conserve, we utilize. But back then we were saying, hey, we're getting paid next Friday. Let's go ahead and prepare how to spend that money now before we even learn how to conserve and utilize it right. So what's different now is we're in this business now with the mortgage guys, Ambiance Realty, where we are utilizing those talents and helping expand our team, helping expand the company, and allowing ourselves to enjoy the fruits of those labors and those experiences we've had in the past, and know how to utilize that money together, not just in the business, but also in our family lifestyle. And we look back and knowing that, hey, we actually have reserves. We actually have a house. We actually have a family. We're developing something, and we're trying to pass those skills and talents to not just our inner circle, but anybody that watches, whether it's this podcast or any data that they see on social media, that's where we want to allow people to see our story, what we're about, what we've been through. And there's absolutely no reason why anybody who's listening or watching that they can't find out later on that, hey, it's okay. Maybe you don't know how to spend your money right now, but you're going to learn, because guess what? Tomorrow, when you look at your bank account and it's overdrawn because you spent the money too fast, which we've been overdrawn plenty of times in the past, you'll get to a point where you're not going to be ever overdrawn again. So it's definitely something we've learned, and we're in a much better position now by conserving and knowing how to utilize our money.
That is awesome. So your business, tell us a little bit more about that in your business and the name of it, what you do, and all that good stuff.
You got it. So Albert Preciado is the CEO for the Mortgage Guys, and also Sil Preciado is I guess we'll call her the CEO of Ambiance. So they are a real estate and mortgage company located in West Hollywood, and they have a variety of different branches. So their business is basically made up of real estate, if you're a real estate agent, or lenders if you're a loan officer. So our job as team members are not necessarily the building or providing real estate transactions, but it's more of helping elevate people, helping educate, helping provide a different experience, helping market the brand. Because everything, I think many people who might be watching know that branding is pretty much everything nowadays. Coca-Cola, why do they keep branding? Why do they keep marketing? Because it's not the drink anymore. It's the keep it in your mind. You'll never forget about it.
Yep.
So it's the same thing with us. The more you see the Mortgage Guys, the more you see Ambiance, the more you see Mike and Eli, the more you recognize and put the two together and say, hey, these guys are in the business. Maybe we should reach out to them for our real estate needs. So whether Mike does the real estate and shows the homes, or whether I assign it to one of our loan officer from the Mortgage Guys, the fact is we're there to help and provide people an ability to obtain financing for mortgages, or to be able to move into a home anywhere in the state of California. Yes. So it's something very very exciting. We love it.
That's super exciting. I love that. And Mike, so with the real estate side of things, tell us, because you went from little boy in a restaurant to now showing these homes. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, definitely. So I love how you say in your book, and it's something that you always say, faith over fear, or basically how God turns fear into fierce, and and I'm definitely a religious person. I really pray to the Holy Spirit and whatnot, because I've been helped out so much in my life, even though I've also been through so much in my life. And it goes back to me and Eli both come from different areas of California, but the areas we came from were not, some of the best. I actually, grew up in a city, a county. It was actually the most dangerous county at one point. The city that I was in was one of the most dangerous cities at one point in California. Not only that, the most unemployment rate, and it was all at one time. So, this is where I come from, a very hard place. But, coming from that hard place, even though that was going on, I still had little opportunities to make money at my family restaurant or whatnot. And, I've always had a vision in my head, and I've always prayed to God that, hey, even though I'm in this really hard city to live in, yes, there's no jobs here, most unemployment rate around, most dangerous county around. And when I put all those factors together, I'll be like, look, I may be in a bad situation, but this is not the end for me. And I always would, and I would always say, hey, I belong somewhere better. And the only thing I could think of, and it wasn't to be like big-headed, or if it wasn't to be like, oh my God, I'm this amazing person. It would really, I wanted to live an amazing life. So I would always tell myself, I belong, and this is funny, I would always say I belong in Beverly Hills in a suit and walking on Beverly Hills with a suitcase.
And that's
yes.
true.
Yes.
Like the first day I met him, that was the first thing he actually told me, like, I want to be in Beverly Hills. And I'm already in my mind, I'm like, God, this guy's expensive. But that's what he wanted.
But I was shooting for the stars. I really was shooting for the stars because in my head, I'm like, look, I'm kind of at the bottom, at the very, very bottom. Why not, in my head, at least in California, want to work in one of the best cities, one of the most expensive cities. That way I have a goal to say, hey, I'll be at the top one day. And to this day, after so many years of praying to the Lord, using the law of attraction, just, just being me. I now work in Beverly Hills in a suit, walking with a suitcase as a real estate agent. Yes,
absolutely true. Absolutely.
As a real estate agent. And it's so mind blowing what could happen when you come from a hard place, you overcome that. If you go through hard things, just know that it's not the end, because, I'm only 29 years old and I have so much more to go. And in my head, I already feel like I made my dreams come true. So imagine what the future holds for me. But yes, did I have to go through a lot? Yes, did I have to come from one of the most dangerous cities in California, let alone California, actually the whole United States at the time.
Wow.
Riverside County, or San Bernardino County, was one of the most dangerous counties in United States. So, it doesn't matter where you live or who you are. I know, if you just have, faith over fear, like Miss Jody Paar always says, or how she says how God turns fear into fierce, use that, because that's what I use, Jody. And, so far my life's going amazing, and I think that's me all day.
I love that. I love that so much. So if this man walking in Beverly Hills with this suit on was to lean down and talk to that little boy, who a lot of kids don't even get out of that situation. They just continue to grow. This, statistics are so sad, and kids that don't even get a chance. So if you were to lean down and say something to that little boy, which could reach other children around the world, what would that message be?
I think it would be that the grass is greener on the other side. It's always greener on the other side. Some people will tell you that it's not, but it truly is. The grass is greener on the other side. You just have to go through your trials and tribulations, and you'll make it. Because I know I did, and I went through a lot. And just, if I was talking to that kid, I would tell him that there's hope. There really is hope.
And to add to that, like, to get there, to get to your destination, you're going to go through deserts, through pebbles and rocks and dry and forests and all the shrub you can imagine before you actually get there. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be easy, but you just pull through, challenge yourself, because we're all God's gift, and God gave us talent, energy, and all that sort of stuff, and spirit to do what we can. And if you utilize it right, then you'll get there. And don't give up.
Yes, and I love that. Thank you so much for saying that, both of you, because I love that. And it's so true. A lot of times kids think that, oh my gosh, they were overnight success. And it was not an overnight success. It was a 10-year or a 20-year or like you were talking about, in the dirt, in the mud, crying every night kind of to get you there. But then when you get there, and I love the rawness and realness in you right now, Mike, you are just, you are touching my heart so much, because it shows that struggle that you went through and how proud you are of yourself. And also you, Eli, as well, how proud you guys are of yourself and what you have built, and where the future is taking both of you is just amazing. And I'm so honored that I know you both, because you guys are just such a light, and you're just inspiring so many people, whether you know that or not.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and we're so inspired by you too. The book is just, the boss just alone, Breakout Silent Soldier. Just, we love the name. It's just so amazing, so powerful, so uplifting, and to be so brave to tell your story and share it with us. We are so honored, and that just gave us the extra light to just live life a little bit more better than we thought we were already living. Just push it a little bit further if you can. And your book did that. Your book, Jody, did that to us. Don't want to put it down, because it's such a special story to us, and it really changed our lives. In just a day and a half, in 2 days, your book changed our life, just to say, hey, live a better life, even though we're like, hey, life's been amazing, but no, it could be more amazing. And honestly, you shared that story with us, and we do want to thank you for that so much. Absolutely. It truly is a blessing, and I'm going to keep this forever. I know usually people pass on books, but this is one of those ones that's going to stay in my bookshelf.
I'll have to order it from you.
Yeah, yes. You're going to have to.
Yes, and if you order it from my website, if you go to jodypar.com, I will sign it for you as well. Yeah.
Okay, I'm ordering like 10 more then. Yes.
I would love that. I would love that. And when I'm in Beverly Hills, you guys got to show me around up there for sure. It's on my
Can't wait
bucket
till you
list.
come out. I know all the restaurants, so we'll go and
We'll have some tea.
Yeah,
and lunch or
yeah.
something.
Nice. That would be awesome. Well,
Okay.
guys, I appreciate you so much being on today. Tell everybody listening and watching how they can follow you, how they can find you. If they're in the California area, how they can buy a house through you. Let's just go ahead and just get it on out there, how they can contact you.
Definitely. So we are Eli and Mike on Instagram. So that's Eli and Mike. And that's basically all our platforms. Eli and Mike, you'll find us there. If you need real estate, I'm your go-to realtor. But not only that, we are just inspiring. We feel that we are inspiring people. So, you know, you can even reach out to us on Instagram. Just like we reach out to Jody, we kind of just go back and forth, inspire each other. Just because we have certain jobs doesn't mean that we have to just talk to each other about real estate. We love to be friends. We talk to people from New York, from Germany, from all over the world, and it's beautiful just to connect with people. So connect with us at Eli and Mike.
I love that so much. And I just got one more question I have to ask.
Please.
Do you guys fight over hair products? I have to know.
Believe it or not, we don't.
Yeah. I use hairspray and he uses like a different product. So luckily we're like, okay, this is mine, that's yours.
Yeah.
I love it. Their hair is so fabulous. If you guys are listening, they have super like high hair, just one's high with some blonde on top. Like it's just fabulous. It's just fabulousness.
You're fabulous too, and can't wait for your next book. So if you guys are listening, oh my gosh, she has a second book coming out, and we have the chills. We cannot wait. So everybody look for it.
Thank you, and it's going to come out this summer, and I'm so excited to say that finally that it's going to come out this summer. So happy.
Yes. Okay, summer. Can we ask you what it'll be called this time?
Sure. It's also Boss. It's Breakout Silence Center.
Oh my gosh.
Breakout Silence Center.
Oh my God. You just gave us the chills. Oh my God. Okay. Can't wait.
It's one of those where nobody can ever blackmail me because I'm putting every one of my sins out there in this book so that people know that they're not alone and that God loves you no matter what you go through.
Love it so much.
That's
oh my
great.
God. Summer needs to hurry up and get here. We need this book. We need more books like this in the world. Thank you so much, Jody. You are so amazing. We love you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, guys, I love you too. Thank you both so much, Eli and Mike. And guys, thank you so much for watching and listening for Faith Over Fear with Jody Paar. I am Jody Paar. You can find me on social media under Jody, Jodypaar. Be blessed, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.